Good morning, everybody. My name is Darlene, and I have Parkinson's. We're going to be babysitting this afternoon while Aurora goes and has one of her inoculations, I think. And so we're going to have Finn over, and it's going to be a blast. I'm expecting them to come in momentarily, so I'm just going to do a little opening here. I'm going to try, if I can, to do some baking this afternoon. Oh, here they come. Oh no, that's Claudine home with Bill. All right, I'm going to stop here. I'll come back when hopefully I'm going to be able to do some baking. Oh, by the way, this is going to be in the window where my air conditioner is, so that from the outside it'll look more like a garden than an air conditioner. Okay, talk to you later. Okay, we're back. I'm going to do a little bit of baking. I want to tell you something very funny though. I hope I'm not speaking out of turn, but I'm going to tell you something about one of my subscribers. Last night I had a terrible night, very terrible, and I had an argument with Claudine, which I'm very sorry I had, but I did, and so I was crying quite heavily, and then I got the old boo-hoo, pity me, on pity pot, and anyway, I was telling that to one of my subscribers in an email, or in a message, and she says to me, she writes back, "Hello, weeping beauty." Made me laugh, made me realize silly what we were arguing about, and so here I am, weeping beauty. Anyway, it's taken me about an hour. I wanted to get everything put out because I have a very hard time with this, as you know. One thing I did have happen to me already, I make a mess every time I cook. Wasn't thinking when I cook here. We now have a new carpet down. You see behind me there? Anyway, so I have to be very careful. So I got my mixer out, and I wanted to just do the first beating of the butter before I started because that's just loud and noisy. So I thought I would do that. Well, I didn't realize that somebody had put the mixer away with the power on high. So I had it sitting like this. I took the plug and I plugged it in, and it took off and it hit the bowl, and the bowl went upside down on the new carpet, and I had to use Resolve to make it clean. No matter what I try, I seem to make a mess. Anyway, here I am. Now, what I'm going to do is, I had one very ripe banana, and I thought, well, I'll make some banana bread, and I'll just supplement it with some applesauce. Sounds good, except for I got up this morning, and somebody had thrown the banana away, because it was very ripe. And I do have bananas, but they're new ones. And then I went to get some applesauce out, and there was no applesauce. So I re-thumped the whole thing. So I'm making this up. So I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to write it down, but I'm going to tell you what the original recipe was, and then I'm going to tell you what I'm doing to it, okay? So the original recipe, okay, let me get this out here because, let me see, I don't want to make a mess, so let me just put these in here. Let's see. Let's put this over here. Should have done this afterwards, but. Okay, so let me get this recipe. I put this recipe in a sheet like this because it's so old, you can see it's all falling apart. So this is one of the recipes that will be in my cookbook that I'm making for my family. Anyway, this is the original banana bread recipe, and it's a really good one. 2.5 cups of flour, 1 cup of sugar. If you want to know what it is, just run this back and you can get it. So 2.5 cups of flour, 1 cup of sugar, 1/2 cup of butter, 2 eggs, 2 bananas mashed, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 3/4 cup of milk, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, a sprinkle of salt, and bake it at 350 for an hour in a loaf pan. Okay, so I'm starting with the butter. I got the 1/2 cup of butter in there. Here so I can see it. Okay, so I've got the 1/2 cup of butter in there, and let me get this out because these toy boxes anyway. There we go. And now I'm going to add the 1 cup of sugar. I'm going to do it in 2 allotments, and I'm just going to show you a minute of it, and then I'm going to pause because I don't want you to hear this mixer going crazy. So I'll put a little bit in. See if I can do this without making a huge mess. I won't be able to. My hands don't hold anything very well, so, all right, 2 allotments. There's 1. All right, so I'm going to just whip this up, and I'll be right back. You know, this was a recipe that for years we made if we needed to whip something up fast. And I cannot believe how long it's taking me to do this. Anyway, I just got the sugar and the egg in here. I want to do it just for a little bit longer to make it a little bit creamier, and then I'm going to add 2 eggs to it. So let me just get it going. It's a loud mixer, but it's very powerful and good. Okay, so now the eggs. All right, the eggs going out. The other thing that happened to me was, while I was doing this, I unplugged it because I wiggle around so much. I gotta tell you, I love cooking and baking. And it's the hardest thing for me to accept that I'm having trouble with this, but I know I do, but I can usually get a product at the end that's okay. I'm going to say persevere at it, because eventually you'll get it. But it's hard when other people don't necessarily see it that way. They see that you're wasting your time a lot, and I do waste a lot of time trying to do things, but it's my time to waste, I guess. Oh, now that this stuck in it. Okay, there we go. We mix it a little bit more. What does it say next? Okay, here's where we're going to change things up a little bit. Okay, I'm going to put in my, no, I'm not going to change it yet. I'm going to put my flour in. I'm going to turn you off to the flour because I'm going to probably spread it everywhere. So I'm going to put in my 2.5 cups of flour, and then I'm going to put in a teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of baking soda, a pinch of salt. I'll put that in just right now, and then I'll put my flour in. There. Right there. And then I'll come back after that and put a little bit of flour in now, and I'll show you what I'm going to do after I get the flour in. And I have to try not to unplug this again. This here. I don't want this video to be too long, so I have to sort of pause while I do the mixing because I'm very slow at it. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so here's where we're at. This has now got all the dry ingredients in it, and it got wet to go. So this is where I'm going to judge on my own, because I'm changing the recipe here. If I get something that's too wet, I'll add a little flour. If I get something too dry, I will add a little bit of moisture. But I'm going to start with the original recipe, and that was 3/4 of a cup of milk. I'm using 10% cream because I have it, and because of the date on it, I need to get it used. So when I need to get it used, I just sub it in a recipe. So let's get this mixed in and see where we're at. Looking good. If it was a banana loaf, now this would be perfect. I'm missing playtime with Finn. He's outside playing with Claudine, and I'm missing it, but I thought this wouldn't take me as long. All right, so now we got that. I'm going to show you how good this is. So if you were making the banana version of it, it would be delicious. Just put that there. So, hold this up. What can I put this over? I'll put this over that. Do you see how beautiful and smooth this is? That's very beautiful for this recipe. Okay, so now here's where I'm changing it. I took the banana, I added a little bit of vanilla to it, just a drop of vanilla, and I added one of those little packages of mandarin oranges with the juice. I forgot to put my brakes on, so let's get that here. This is where I need help because my hands don't hold things and I drop them, but hopefully I get it. So that's this mess. A mess it is. All right, so that's there. And I'm going to add chocolate chips in a minute. I'm going to stir them in, and I'm also going to stir in some cut up strawberries. Now those cut up strawberries are fresh today, and they are delicious. But I wanted to make a tropical loaf, and of course I didn't have any coconut, and I didn't have any pineapple, and I'm just making it up as I go along, so this is what I had. So let's see how we do. I was hoping Finn would have a slice of it before he went home. Oh God. Pause. Okay, I'm back. I'm okay. I scared the crap out of myself though, and I made a big mess. So this is, it got all over my Crocs. Look, even my socks palette, I had it splashed all the way up me. So it's hard to imagine that I could do all this, but that's how it happens to me. So I said to my daughter, I'm not going to finish this with the beater. I'm going to stir it in. So here we go. We're going to finish her up. So we had our bananas and our vanilla and our oranges. Now I'm going to add chocolate chips, little mini ones. I don't even know how many there were. I just poured a few into there. And I think it's going to be the right consistency. I'm not going to add more flour or liquid. I'm going to go with what I have. All right, those are in there. And now look at this, beautiful strawberries. So those are going in there. And then we've got a tropical loaf ready to go. Bill buttered my pan for me, or sprayed it, I should say. He sprayed the pan. So, I've got more cloths than I know what to do. So my oven is preheated to 375. It's going to cook for an hour. I'm going to check it probably at about 50 minutes. And then I'm going to go out and play with Finn while this is cooking. And hope we don't forget it. All right, there we are. All mixed. Let's get my pan. Now I've got a skinny pan which is a little bit longer and it's sprayed, so I'm going to drop that. My hands, you have no feeling in my hands all the way up here, so this is very difficult, but I don't let difficult stop me. I'm going to try standing up to do this because I can hold the bowl. Now this recipe is not a recipe. This is me fooling around in the kitchen. But I told you what I did, so if you want to recreate it or create your own creation, you can. The basic banana bread, though, is very good. This is so hard to do without spilling it. I'm going to sit down for a minute. Let's try to, look at this. Let's try to get the last of this out of here. Oftentimes I don't get the last of what's in my bowl because I can't get it out. Pudding's outside, so I have to do this on my own. If she was here, she'd be helping me, and I sometimes like to just try it on my own. But then I get to that spot where I can't do it and I have to ask for help. Can you believe that that beater just flew off of there like that? Oh my gosh. I didn't know what I was doing when I was putting it together, and I said to Bill, can you put it on? And he must have had it hooked a little bit, but not all the way, so. Okay, let's put this down here, like this. There we are. Now, before I put that in the oven, I would like to level it out. So I'm going to level it out, and I'm going to just clean up the sides, and then I'm going to put it in the oven, 375 for 50 minutes to 60 minutes. And I'll bring you back when I take it out of the oven. Bye-bye. Okay, folks, here's the thing about Parkinson's. I have just tried to press the button to record, and I've been trying for 2 times that it timed out, which was 10 minutes each time. 20 minutes to try and press 2 buttons, the camera and the start button. And that's what Parkinson's does when I've got lots of dyskinesia right now. It's, well, I don't know what time it is because that doesn't have time. 5:53. I need meds at 6 o'clock, and I'm either frozen up or animated here, so I was completely animated and I couldn't do that. So anyway, let's look at this loaf. I can't wait to cut into it and see what it is. All right, so here we go. Let's turn this. There's the loaf that came out of the oven. Let me turn you around just a little bit more. There you are, like that. Okay, now I'm going to try and get it out of there. Hope it comes out. Wouldn't that be embarrassing if I tried to get it out of there? It wouldn't come out. I got to do a little turn around with my chair because I have to change my position. So let's go with this. Undo a turnaround. Oh. And I didn't get where I wanted to be. Try again. Try again, that's my motto, try again. Pudding's getting her supper leftovers ready, and she just went outside for a minute, so I wanted to get this done while she was gone. So there's my cake, or my loaf, and I have taken my knife and gone around it like this, and let's see if it comes out. Oh, I hope it does. Hope it does come on. Okay, yeah, it's coming out. Oh, good. Oh, good, it came out really nice. Right, so now I'm going to turn it upright so we can look at it properly. There, just to let you see the bottom of it. There, that's lovely. Just about burnt, but lovely. Didn't burn, so that's good. There, good. Now let's take a knife and cut into it and see what it looks like. Oh, I hope it's good because I've never made anything. This is what I'm trying to show people. I'm trying to show them that you don't have to have a recipe. You have just something to start with. Like the banana bread was the starting recipe. And then you just have to be careful that you don't mix up how much liquid and how much dry you have. But basically, you can be very experimentative in the kitchen, and even if it doesn't turn out, you've learned something. So don't do that one again. Mom called them happy little accidents. Happy little accidents. So let's take this. I'm going to cut right about here so we can see. I'm going to turn a little bit so I can get it there. There, like that. Oh, look at that! All those fruit pieces in there. All right, so I'm gonna cut this here like this. I have to let it cool more because it cuts so much better when it's cool. So I should have let it cool, but I will let it cool there before I cut any more. I'm gonna take a little piece of it here. Oh, it's warm. It's warm. And you can't lift that either. So let's see. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that's so good. Okay, I'm going to let it cool because it will slice up so nice when it's cool. If I remember, when it's cool and I've sliced it, I'll show you how nicely it's sliced at that point. Try this recipe. It's really good. I really like it. Try the banana bread part. But if you want to experiment, you can do anything with that. Okay, I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care. I'm going to put a video in here after this. Like a video of the kids playing. Okay, bye. No, come on, touch the button. Oh, I don't want to do 20 minutes of this. See, I'm having troubles right now. I gotta go take meds.
Who's that? That's you. Say boo. Boo. Peekaboo. Boo. 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 Peekaboo. You say ready? Set, go! Boo! Boo! Where's Finn? Boo! Boo! Ow! Owl, that's great. What you doing? You stretching? Are you stretching?
You like an orange?
Oh, let me show everybody our pretty face.
Did I do orange?
You were sleeping so nice, and then as soon as I turned that on, you made a big face. Here, let's go.
Let me see your ball. Let me see your ball. There you go. Hello. Let me see. Let me see.
Oh, your shoe's wet.
Uh-oh. Needs actual swim shoes. Splash. Stomp your feet. Stomp your feet.
Do that to shut off now.